first trailer for Pokémon Winds and Waves showed off a bunch of Pokémon that will be returning to the game, and it got me thinking, a lot of them are really weak. Like Tropius, for example. It's meant to be this super cool, super rare Pokémon, but they gave it worse attacking stats than Unknown.
So we're going to go over 5 Pokemon that really need these buffs. We're going to start off small, maybe just a few stat points here and there, but as the video goes on, these buffs will get bigger. We'll even end with a new signature ability. It's pretty crazy.
Hi, my name is Mochi, and I think Tropius is actually a really good place for us to start. Like I said, they planned this thing to be like a super cool, super rare Pokemon. It has a 9% encounter rate in only one route in Hoenn, but it's weak as hell, man. If you catch this thing, you're going to be discarding it immediately because it doesn't do anything. Tropius has a lot of weaknesses. It's got a 4 times weakness to ice, it's weak to flying and poison and rock and fire, all of which are pretty common types. So I feel like we should boost its special defense and HP at least a little bit to help it take these hits a bit better. I also think we should bring its special attack up by 30 points. I think this would have 2 really good effects. Casually speaking, 102, it's a nice place for a special attack stat to sit. It's pretty average. It's going to be able to hit things hard. Competitively speaking, it'll be able to take advantage of its second ability, Solar Power, which boosts its special attack stat by 50% while the sun is active. With a special attack stat of 102, it'll be doing tons of damage with Solar Beam, which of course in the sun activates in one turn. Like I said, both casually and competitively, it will be usable. It'll be a memorable Pokemon, which I think is really just what I want it to be. Okay, we're going forward in time a bit here, but I really want to talk about Grapploct. I really like Grapploct. I feel like it's got a really cool design, and its stats are good enough. I feel like casually it can be a useful member on a team. But okay, listen, there is exactly one move that Grapploct needs to learn for it to go from mediocre to great. You see, Grappaloct's hidden ability is Technician, a really, really good ability that increases the power of moves by 50% as long as they have a base power of 60 or lower. But the thing is, Grappaloct doesn't really have any good moves it can use with this ability. Keep in mind, this is a really good ability. I think Mega Scizor uses it. So it's like a really great effect. And like I said earlier, you just need to give it one move in order for it to be good. You see, Grapploct was in Legends ZA and actually got access to a bunch of like really good new moves. It got Bullet Punch and Mach Punch, but most importantly, it got access to the move Storm Throw. It's a fighting type attack, so it gets the same type attack bonus. It's got a base power of 60, meaning it's boosted by Technician, and it has a guaranteed critical hit chance. So this is a fighting type attack with the base power of 60, boosted to 90 by Technician, and then boosted again another 50% to 135 by the guaranteed critical hit. In fact, I did the calculations. If you get a max attack Choice Band Technician Grapploct and go for a Storm Throw into a max HP, max defense Zamazenta Crowned, it will be a one-hit knockout. That is how strong this move would be. Obviously, I don't think it would be like the strongest Pokemon ever, but I think it would be at least usable. Now, this one's going to sound a bit familiar. We're talking about a grass-type Pokemon that is very rare, but very underwhelming. Carnivine, I believe, can also only be found in one place in the Generation 4 games. So it shows up in the Great Marsh in Sinnoh. I believe it also isn't even guaranteed to show up any given day. That is how rare it is. And would you believe it? It's kind of useless. No, I don't think I've ever heard anyone talk about Carnivine casually or competitively. First of all, good luck getting it in a casual playthrough. And secondly, it's got no chance competitively. Carnivine's bulk is pretty bad. It's 70s across the board, HP defense and special defense. It's really not good. I think we should boost its HP by 30 points. I mean, if its entire thing is being a Venus Flytrap, you know, sapping the life from other Pokemon, I think it would make sense for it to have a very high HP stat. I also want to give a small boost to its attack and special attack stats. Special attack so it can make use of Giga Drain, and attack, we'll actually discuss the reason for that in a second, because I want to talk about its ability first. Its only ability right now is Levitate, which is not great because grass types already resist ground type attacks. So what if we gave it the option for a second ability? Carnivine's Pokedex entries mentioned that it has sweet smelling saliva that helps it attract prey. So what if we gave it the signature ability of Hydrapple Super Sweet Syrup? You see, Super Sweet Syrup lowers the evasion stat of the opposing Pokemon by 1 stage once per battle. This effectively means that moves that aren't very accurate are much more accurate because you've lowered the opponent's evasion stat. Obviously, they can just switch out and get rid of their evasion drops, but if you can position it correctly on the right Pokemon, this could be a pretty good ability, and I think Carnivine could be that Pokemon. The reason we slightly boosted its attack stat earlier was so that it could make use of Power Whip. That's a grass-type physical attack with a base power of 120, but an accuracy of 85. So it hits really hard, but it's not entirely accurate, it's unreliable. But having Super Sweet Syrup would make Carnivine a great user of this move. It also gets Sleep Powder, which is only 75% accurate, but I believe with the evasion drop, it would be 100% accurate, like Spore. I think just these 2 options alone could make Carnivine really threatening offensively and defensively. You know, it's not the bulkiest Pokemon in the world, but it does have Sleep Powder, which can be a huge threat. And its attack stat isn't the highest, but with Power Whip, a move with 120 base power, it's still going to be doing a lot of damage. These last 2 Pokemon, I feel like I wanted to save them until the end, because first of all, we need to do some like really crazy stuff for them to actually be good. But these are also 2 Pokemon that a lot of people have talked about. Like I've said, a lot of people have said this, you've probably heard this before, but they did Ledian so dirty. It's a superhero themed ladybug Pokemon. How do you mess that up? Its hidden ability is Iron Fist, which boosts the damage of punching moves by 20%, and its attack stat is 35. 35! You're doing less damage than Bunnelby? We need to give this guy a huge overhaul. But I think we're going to have to limit ourselves here. That's the same as the other Pokemon we've talked about. I don't want to give it more than 50 extra stat points. Otherwise, we're just making a new Pokemon, you know what I mean? So, okay, a great place for us to start. I think we should boost its attack stat by 75. Yeah, okay, 75 is more than 50, but to make up for that, we can decrease its special attack stat and its special defense. Its special defense is 110, by the way. This is meant to be like a really frail Pokemon. Why is your special defense so high? We can put some of the leftover stat points into its HP. You know, it's still got a really bad defenses, but hopefully now it might be able to live 1 hit if it's lucky. And we can give it a boost to its speed, so it can at least outspeed a decent amount of Pokemon before it gets knocked out in 1 hit. It wouldn't be a great Pokemon, let's be honest, but it would be usable, especially compared to what it is now. Somewhere out there, Ledian is someone's favorite Pokemon, and they cannot use it in any playthrough, and thinking about that makes me sad. But talking about people's favorite Pokemon and wasted potential, I feel like there's no Pokemon that fits that criteria better than Flygon. Now, you look at its stats, it's a pretty alright Pokemon. It's got a pretty alright ability. It hits hard enough, and I think for its time, it was even maybe a good Pokemon. Flygon was this kind of bulky ground and dragon type Pokemon with a good attack stat and was fairly fast, and then introduced Garchomp, which is bulkier, hits harder, and is faster. Literally, there's no reason for you to use Flygon. We really need to change this. I've said this a lot today, but we really need to change this. I think a good start would be to make it a special attacker. I mean, just look at it. That's not a physical attacker. Garchomp is a physical attacker. Flygon should be a special attacker. We'll reduce its attack stat by 20 and add 40 to its special attack. 120 is a respectable special attack stat competitively and casually. It's nowhere near the strength of Garchomp, but it's good. It's respectable. I also want to increase its speed by 10 points. You know, it's above this 100 space speed threshold. It outspeeds a lot of good Pokemon, including Garchomp, allowing it to be a good alternative. It's not strictly worse or strictly better than Garchomp, but it does its own thing. Now, this might be getting a bit crazy, but I felt like it could also use a signature ability. I mean, this is a beloved Pokemon, which was kind of scammed out of getting a Mega Evolution like 11 years ago or something like that. So the least they could do would be to give it like a new signature ability, right? I mean, Levitate is decent, but at the same time, you're not weak to ground. Like, how much value are you really getting out of that? Its Pokedex entries mention that the flapping of its wings sounds like singing. It sounds like a woman singing. So I think Flygon's new signature ability should be called, let's say, Desert Song, and it should turn all sound-based moves into ground-type attacks. This includes Hyper Voice and Boom Burst. I believe it learns both of those. and it should also give these moves a damage boost of 30%. Now, this is a reskin of Primarina's signature ability, except that ability is called Liquid Voice. It turns all sound moves into water type moves, but it doesn't give any damage boost. And I'm not saying this just because Primarina is one of my favorite starter Pokemon, but I think we should give it a 30% damage boost as well. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about Flygon, right? It's still not as bulky as Garchomp. It might not even hit as hard as Garchomp does, but it can still do big damage, especially with Draco Meteor. It can do big damage and it can do it faster than Garchomp can. And I had a lot of concepts to this video. There's a bunch of other Pokemon I wanted to talk about, like Miraxis. I really wanted to talk about Miraxis. So if this video does well, maybe I'll do another similar video. But for now, I just made another video talking about the Generation 10 starter Pokemon and what they could evolve into, reading into Southeast Asian mythology to predict what their typings could be. It's a really cool video. I really recommend you check it out.